October 25th, 12:08, 9:04 a.m. The entire city is locked down. Who could have seen this coming? Truth be told, that's the most likely outcome when I'm involved. What's going to happen to us? Hope Agnes is okay, Ren too. All we can do is wait for them to get in touch. Sorry, but what the hell is with that massive airship? The IX Alba airship series, co-developed by the Verne Group and Aldra. Currently being tested by Marduk. Basel Institute of Science conference room.
I apologize for our sudden arrival during the frenzied events of yesterday.
Gilliam Thorndike.
To start this off, I am General Manager of Marduk Total Security Company, Gilliam Thorndike. This is our Chief of Security, Qasim Al-Fayed.
A pleasure to meet you all.
Al-Fayed, is he? No doubt about it.
I was not expecting you to travel all the way to Basel, but it is an honor to meet you all the same. I've heard many a rumor about how shrewd a manager you are, Mr. Thorndike. Together with your Chief of Security's combat exploits.
You make me blush, Your Highness.
I am humbled by your words.
I arrived in my home country a few days ago, so I'm afraid I'm not up to date on all the latest developments. But am I to understand that Marduk will be responsible for securing the city of Basel for the remainder of the day?
That is correct. Off the record, a presidential executive order was issued yesterday to that effect. A CID Special Ops unit will be arriving in the city this evening. Marduk's task will be to secure key facilities in Basel until they are ready.
A special ops unit? Staying in Hercules, huh? Wouldn't shock me if you belonged to him too, miss. You're very astute.
We've also brought one of the Ix Alba series of airships that we're currently testing on behalf of the Republican Army. Said airship will allow us to ensure the integrity of the orbital network.
Which is how we're able to have this conversation, I suppose. Your concierge isn't the only way you've gotten your hooks into Basel, I see.
Our goals on this particular occasion are simply to protect this city and its orbital network.
I gotta call it out, the way Qasim is dressed right there is really reminiscent of Joshua from, what was it, Reverie.
Rest assured that much like your country, we have no intention of getting too deeply involved in Basel's affairs.
That is our stance as well. We are only doing what we consider necessary. Very well, I will take your word on that, for now. Quelling the chaos unfolding before us clearly does come first. However, given our stake in Verne in connection to the Institute, this current state of affairs is of grave concern to us. You have a lot to answer for here as CEO, Mr. Townsend. Please, if I may defend myself, I never could have seen this coming.
There is some merit to that argument, but it also leaves out a number of key facts. You are to see that shareholders' Mira is used to generate a profit, and yet you covered up a huge potential problem for over a month. We confirmed last night that it wasn't just Almada's money being used for ill. Elsime's investments were also misappropriated. And if these are the result of you turning a blind eye to Professor Callahan's behavior all this time...
You keep your mouth shut! Just who do you think you are? Who gave you the right to speak? I don't care if you are Student Council President at Aramis! This is none of your...
I am here as a special advisor for Liberal's ZCF. I also serve as a negotiator representing the Epstein Foundation. In other words, I'm here to speak up against anything that threatens their interests, which this has. Now, do I have the right to speak?
What? Ren? Now that's a dramatic twist straight out of a play. I've heard rumors swirling about you, but I never expected you to show up here. Still, she's right. We aren't the only shareholders that will be concerned by this. Other related companies will be as well. I hope you don't need me to spell out exactly what kind of a situation you're in here. But...
when will you grow a damn spine? The danger here isn't over. Anyone can see that. And you still intend to do nothing after what happened to Callahan? Professor Hamilton left you in charge of Vern, of Basel. Don't you feel any shame?
In any event, we now have half a day before the cogs start turning again. Even if we do nothing, the Calvardian government will see to it that matters are resolved. But knowing how egregiously my country's funds have been misused, I refuse to stand by and do nothing. So, Arkwright Solutions. Might I enlist your services for the remainder of the day? Of course, you can approach the task in whatever way best suits you, just as you did in Tharbad and have done many times before. My only true wish is that you put a stop to all modest plans before they can bear fruit. Does this sound doable?
We'll be well compensated for this, I trust?
after the conference...
Qasim, why?
It's been some time, Farida.
I suspected you two were related. Your brother, right? Never expected him to be one of Marduk's hunting dogs.
I hear you've been taking good care of my sister, Arkwright Solutions. As for you, Van, it's been 2 years, I believe? I understand you've greatly improved your use of the stun caliber and your martial arts. Reset mentioned as much. As your former instructor, that fills me with great pride.
I try. Still not so hot with the tactics stuff you taught me, though. I've heard all kinds of stories about you too, but I never expected our first meeting to be like this.
In that, we are agreed. Still, while we might be providing our services and your weapon, I believe the contract between us to be an equal one. I hope that we can continue our fine partnership, Mr. Arkwright.
Yeah, let's not get too friendly. I'm not interested in becoming any more than just a contractor to you. Still, since we're here, there is one thing I want to ask. Just how long has she been like that?
Information on our concierge is classified, I'm afraid. However, if an approximate time frame will suffice, I suppose I can oblige. About a year ago.
Something seemed off about her all this time. We first started talking 3 years ago, but the first time we actually met was just in Tharbad. Even when I visited Ord for lessons on tactics, she was conveniently unavailable. That sounds like... Does that mean...
Still, I know she's in good hands with Associate Professor Archett. I also happen to bring some compatible parts that she can use. Though I regret that Ms. Twinings will not be able to provide you with any more of her services for the time being.
You ain't got nothing to apologize for. I doubt any amount of workers' comp I could give her would make up for forcing her to do something that crazy. But either way, that's my problem to deal with, not yours.
Well, I apologize for meddling in your affairs then. With that said, we must take our leave. We've negotiations with the Republican Army to attend to. As I mentioned during the conference, we've no intention of interfering in this crisis any more than is necessary. Fascinated though I am by what a genius can achieve through an obsession that knows no bounds.
Qasim, wait!
There are a number of matters Abi and I disagree on. Whether you are suited to being a warrior is very much one of them. Still, I can only assume it was the guidance of the flames and Arusha that led you here. Battle is almost upon us, and I will be watching to see how you fare through it.
scary.
As much as I'd love to write him off as an arrogant asshole, I can't get enough of a read on him. Just how tough is he?
I'd say he's one of the strongest Jaegers who ever lived.
So keep in mind for that list, that would be the War God on there, which is Randy's father. Rutger, who you could argue is Fee's adopted father, whatever you want to call him, being leader of Zephyr. And then, you haven't seen the Apex yet. Your conversation is over then. Ren, where are the others? They didn't make it. They're still here. There was talk of them returning to the capital, but that's not going to be possible now that the whole area on lockdown. The roads, the railways, even the airspace around Edith is sectioned off. Not like that comes as any surprise after what happened. What do you mean? What happened now? There was an explosion in Anchorville City. There were no casualties, fortunately, but we suspect that Almada might have been involved. Anchorville's a decent-sized city north of the capital, right? Yeah, must have just been a diversion while this is their real target. I think that's almost certain. However, given its proximity to the capital, we can't afford to take it lightly. Both the CID and the Guild are being pushed to their limits right now. We won't be able to give you any backup. That's fine, we weren't expecting any to begin with. But you can at least share whatever info you manage to gather, surely. That goes for stuff from ZCF and the Foundation, too. Sounds fair to me, insofar as our interests align, of course. I'll also do what I can. Just take our Anyas for me in return, please. Thank you, Ren. I hear the initial work is done on your concierge, too. That's Professor Hamilton's family for you, geniuses to the last. Oh, thanks for telling us. That's so good to hear. She was being seen to in Associate Professor Esmeray's room, wasn't she? Let's go say hi, then. I can't wrap my head around everything we've had over the past few days. It's our job as staff to keep thinking about the future, but what the heck is going on anymore? It's just too crazy to tell. First the attack itself, and now in the aftermath, the whole city's on lockdown. What kind of world are we living in now, where universities come under attack? Library didn't suffer much damage, at least. Physical books aren't harmed, too. My concern is more our digital library. Digital books are fragile in their own right. I can only hope we didn't lose our online archives. I never thought some horror like that would befall our institute. The world these days, I swear. I'm relieved that my students are okay, Kay and Gimbat especially. But how's a kid supposed to study after all this? I don't know what to do. It's just awful, all of it. I get yesterday was rough. Here, I got you something. Hope it helps. Oh, thank you. Are you doing okay? Yeah, I'm fine. The company, too. I'm more worried about all the damage to the Institute. I genuinely believe the work you're doing with them, whether it's comms or hollows, will really shape Calvert's future. So I'd say have a little confidence in your research, yeah? It's a lot more impressive than you give it credit for. Really? Thank you. That does make me feel a little better. I'm glad she looks to be alright, or physically at least. I have no idea how she's holding up mentally. But I hope she'll get through this. She's my coworker and I want to see her happy again. He really shouldn't be worrying about me, but I'm kinda happy that he is. Now I need to make it up to him with my research. I'm not even bothering with the vending machine. I just started thinking she was looking a little sunnier lately, and then the Institute came under attack. She's being pushed to the breaking point, poor girl. I want to try and support her however I can. She has a bright future ahead of her. It would be a travesty if she were to lose that spark. It was bad enough hearing that the professor was abducted, and then we got attacked too. Why does this keep happening? Just one horrible thing after another. I just want to do my research and get my degree. What do I even do now? I feel like I don't belong here. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people belong in academia, especially these days. What the heck are you doing? Those filthy mechanical monsters, they stole my darlings from me. Stephanie, Liam, Sally, my poor babies. Even Shirley, my ultra-rare slime. I poured my blood, sweat, and tears into cultivating her, and they just struck her down. Wow. You know the neighborhood's gone to hell when man came and raised slimes in peace. I blame the schools. What a disaster yesterday turned out to be. I wasn't expecting those mechanical monsters to start rampaging through the place. I just bolted without second thought, still had my knife and my frying pan in my hands. Now everybody looks at me like I'm some kind of psycho. It's just silly, I tell you. Come on, I'm still the same old lunch lady. You want something to eat? Just let me know. You gotta keep your energy up in times like these, you know?
What'll it be for today?
So I still have the dory up, but the other things were eaten.
Thanks a bunch.
Just tell them you're looking for a fight. And if they don't believe you, just whack them.
Not this way.
I still can't believe that really happened yesterday. Even the police and the bracers were overwhelmed. I'm trying not to let it get to me. As a security officer, what's done is done. We have to help get things back under control now. Welcome. If you're looking for Rosette, she's in the room to your right. The associate professor is with her. She's through the worst of it now, at least. I've been in there helping her throughout the day. Never expected we'd be putting her research to the test so soon, especially not under these circumstances.
Oh, hello there.
I hope everything went well.
Thanks. Sounds like you pulled an all-nighter, huh?
Looks like Zeros is up and running again. Fortunately for us, the damage for him wasn't so bad. I just wish I could say the same about Rosette. Putting her back to the way she was is going to take a while.
Please, don't be so downhearted. The first-rate care you've been giving me has stabilized my vitals a considerable amount.
I'm relieved to hear that.
Have you spoken to Mr. Thorndyke?
Did before coming here, yeah. He's as much of a questionable character as I was expecting. Their chief of security's the same old standoffish grump, too. You'd think it'd kill him to put on a smile.
That's just how they are, I'm afraid.
It's fine, you know. You don't need to force yourself to speak.
For what it's worth, her life isn't in any danger here. The medicine you helped me with yesterday seems to have been working wonders.
She's right. It has really made this easier for me.
Good to hear. We sure didn't think it'd end up being used on you when we took that job on.
The artificial limbs that Mr. Thorndyke brought with him are compatible with her, too. That's not to say you shouldn't take it easy. Anything that involves the nervous system is a heavy burden on the body. The best thing you can do for yourself right now is get lots and lots of rest.
I will. Thank you. Though, I truly am sorry for not being able to support you all when you need it most.
Don't sweat it. We can take things from here. You just kick back and relax. Next time you wake up, you can bet we'll have good news to share. And a hell of a big bonus, too.
I'll have to look forward to that then, won't I? Follow your hearts and act as you always do. And everything will be fine.
Sorry, but I'd like to ask you something. Why? Why did you risk your life to save mine? No one should have to put themselves through something like this over someone like me.
It was because you were just so dazzlingly radiant in that moment, I suppose.
What?
You have so many people who care about you, and you care about them just as much in return. To someone who's lost her bonds, memories, and even body, the sight was almost blinding. I'm a little jealous of all you have, if I'm to tell the truth. So please, treat yourself like an irreplaceable treasure, not just for you, but for those who love you, too.
About Rosette. Just how much of her is artificial anyways? I don't know for sure, but my guess is a lot. You were indirectly involved in making her who she is too, right? That's right, we assisted Marduk in researching artificial biological limbs some time ago. Our partnership only produced a prototype, though I never imagined they would actually start using that technology like this. Rosette was clearly the result of multiple different technologies being used together, not just the one they developed with us. I've heard this is also a field that the Institute of Technology over in the Empire has been looking into. Van, you seem like you've known the truth for a while. Couldn't be sure, but I had a feeling. I could tell the image I was seeing during our video calls was artificially generated. So it took me really off guard when she just showed up in person in Tharbad. It was only when I noticed that she moved faster and kind of different from normal people that I started putting two and two together. Makes sense. I did feel like there was something strange about her, but I never would have imagined it was because of this. She's capable of far greater power and speed than an ordinary human, but she also has less precise control over her body in exchange. I can't imagine just how much effort she must have put in to be able to move as she naturally does. She'll be able to return to the way she was, won't she? I'm sure she will, right, Professor? I think there's every chance of that. The technology involved seems to be fairly well established by Marduk at this point. It won't be easy to make all the precise adjustments after reattaching her limbs, but I'll make sure it happens. We're counting on you. She might be on loan to us from Marduk, but she's as much a member of Arkwright Solutions as the rest of us. Anyway, time for us to get out of here. Right, we need to do what we can, put Rosette at ease.
Wait! Please. If it's not too much to ask, could I keep helping you? I want to stop Professor Callahan and the devils who've done this to him by my own hand. No matter what it takes.
Oh, Katra.
Sorry, but no can do.
I suppose that's the right decision after I landed Rosette in a hospital bed. I wasn't able to use Theo and Zeros at even half of their potential, either. If all I'm gonna be is a burden to the team...
That ain't what I'm saying. You're no burden. We're gonna need you and your engineering know-how here for sure. But we're also not a charity. We only do favors for people if the client and price are a good fit. You heard what Rosette said, right? If you did, then you should know what you gotta do. And where you went wrong.
You're right. I should never have done something that would upset the people who care about me. And I never will again. I just want to stop the chaos unfolding in Basel and the misuse of technology that created it. And if I'm gonna do that, it's not the help of the police or guild I need. It's you. As compensation, I can offer you my skills and expertise on technology. I can also give you my word that I'll help Essie put Rosette back to the way she was as fast as possible. Is that enough to make me a good fit for you?
It sure is. We'd be happy to take that 4 SPG on. We'll be counting on you now. Couldn't ask for better than a student of Professor Hamilton's.
Thank you. I won't let you down.
Promise me you'll take good care of him, okay? I'll be working around the clock too. Promise. Thank you so much. Time to get down to business.
The CID Special Ops Unit is going to be here this evening. That means we only got half a day left to do what we want. Once they're here, we're done. We gotta make this time count. Sure felt to me like Almada's work was done after making that AI a success. You sure they didn't just bounce? No, I'm certain they're still in the region. The abnormalities in the orbital net and distribution network are less pronounced than yesterday, but they're still present. Something's still happening, I'm sure of it. Really? Then Almada's research is still going on somewhere in the city. Rosette mentioned something earlier that I think will help me.
This might be fundamentally different to what happened in Crossbell, but I still think that is our closest reference point. The orbital network and septium veins were used in the development of highly advanced technology then as well. Basel City also has both, making it the perfect environment to finish what they started.
With the orbital network and the septium veins at their disposal, they have access to effectively unlimited resources for their research. If Professor Callahan has reached the heights that the Singularity and Crossbell did, then our foes are probably lurking somewhere in the region finishing what they started. That's still a very large area to try and find them in, though. We'll have to find some way to narrow our search down. If we can get close enough to their location, the Genesis might react and show us we're on the right track, too. Using the damn thing like a metal detector, huh? Suppose we gotta try anything we can at this point. Let's see if there are any more 4 SPGs to take care of while we start asking around. There's no telling where we might find a clue that'll lead us to the truth. I'll help however I can. Wait, should I not be meddling in your jobs now that I'm a client instead of a guide? Don't be silly, you're one of us now. You are our client, but how about we just treat you more like a temp for now? Okay, works for me. We're happy to have you with us, even if it means the kid-to-adult ratio's evened out here. Well then, let's get to work. Want to stop by the guild, Vern, Giscard's workshop? We should probably talk to our resident genius professor, too. Sound like good places to start to me. Hello, how's your investigation going? You're up already? Please take it easy, Rosette. We just have you awake temporarily before we start doing the nerve work. Oh shit, sorry, we didn't mean to bother you. Not at all, I'm glad to see you, and it's good that you're still hard at work. I'll be going back to sleep now. Thank you for visiting me. Be careful out there. Damn, out like a light. She's really got it rough. She really does. I wasn't expecting her to wake up like that. She must have really wanted to see you. She might be conscious again, but she's not lucid most of the time. She must have heard your footsteps or otherwise noticed you coming. She's a real trooper. All the more reason to make good on her. She's in your hands. We'll give her the good news when she wakes up. Don't worry, I'll take good care of her. She'll be all better by the time you get back, and that's a promise. I've always liked seeing people react to things I make. I just never expected it would happen like this. Still, I'm glad it's available for her. The painkiller should make the limb fitting much easier for her. Funny how it all worked out. You helped us and helped yourselves. Same. Never expected one of our own would need the stuff we were helping to make. We really owe you for that, even if we helped out with it. Don't worry about it. I just chipped in here and there. The research was mostly Esmeralda's, but I'm still honored I could help. All we can do now is leave the rest to her. She knows what she's doing. I'll still be out and about in the city, helping treat the wounded.
Okay.
Damn it, too late. They've already cleared up all the wreckage from yesterday. I was hoping to take some samples to try and reverse engineer their weaponry. I know it's not my field, but still. Guess with that out of the question, all I can do now is try and study their methods. We need to be more prepared for attacks in the future. Some way of neutralizing their weapons, maybe. Or what about something that can melt them? Get it on the weapon and bam, it's gone. We've smoothed out negotiations with Vern and Elsheim, thankfully. Professor Callahan will be dearly missed here at the Institute, but we should be able to fill his void in the short term. What concerns me is the mental toll this has taken on the staff and students. They may not be ready to return to work yet. Professor Callahan, is he really dead? He always seemed kind of scary, but the upperclassmen really respect him. I wanted to talk to him myself someday. Glad everybody else is okay, though, but what do we even do now? Is there something upstairs? Honestly, what is Lionel doing? All the chaos and he's got mushrooms on the mind? The rest of us are up to our necks in work. I've got a whole mountain of infrastructure docs to get from Marduk. I don't want to trouble my students. They have enough on their plates. Do you think you could help out with the workload a little?
Alrighty.
We've finally gotten the comms stabilized a bit. I'm doing what I can. I don't want to let Coolidge down. We've implemented some stopgap measures to try and keep the network together while we diagnose things. I don't want to leave it all to that security company, but I don't want to overload our servers again either. Oh wait, NPC's over here. We finally have a plan. We're going to ease the load on the servers to try to get them back online with a limited scope. Took less time than I was figuring, at least. They took out the Aurora. Marduk's been handling some... They took out the Aurora, but Marduk's been handling some of the load for us. If we can make this plan work, we should have Basel's network back into full capacity soon. I do wonder why Professor Cronkite is lending us a hand with it, though. This is his field. We really could have used his help. No comment. Oh, okay, that was a repeat. Dang it. Sorry, but we got the crime scene blocked off here to preserve the evidence. If you have any questions or concerns, you can direct them to the local police department.
Did you hear?
My family lives in Neath. I managed to get through to them today. I've let them know I'm alright. Sounds like nobody outside knows what's going on. Reporters can't get into Basel because the roads are all closed. Just feel like I've got to help out somehow. Professor Tane has a lot on his hands. He shouldn't have to manage it all alone. Maybe a student, but there has to be something I can do. I'll ask him when I get the chance.
Okay.
Who knows how long it'll take the Institute to recover from this. With everything that's happened, they're really out of commission. Here I was hoping I might finally get a grant for my research. I was so close. But nope, that window's gone and closed. Well, will fungi ever have their time in the limelight, or are they doomed to wallow in the damp dark forever? Think I got everyone, and I'm going to take a break before we hop over to... crap, I know I missed that one. Okay. We'll do this one real quick, and then I'll be taking my break. Server's been up and stable for a while now. I can only assume it's the giant airship patching up the network. That really limits me as a communications engineer, though. We shouldn't have to rely on them as a crutch. We're talking about the lifeblood of modern society here, and now it's all going through some shady megacorp. We're gonna have to put in the hours to make sure our comms don't go down like that again.
Well...
Okay, I had to figure out where I left off at. We're gonna hop over to Newtown.
Off we go.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
Let's stay here and relax.
Yesterday was terrible. I didn't see it for myself, but I heard all about it. I'm no engineer, so repairs and stuff are kind of beyond me. But there has to be something I can do to help. Everybody out working today deserves a helping hand. I'll think of something. Every little bit helps, right?
Do you have any preferences? Thanks for coming in.
Ren left me in charge here. I'm trying to coordinate all the students so that we can get everything sorted out. The student council's helping me out, which is a big help. But I'm still nervous. There's a lot of time before that special unit gets here in the evening. Anything can happen before then. Just need to make sure the students are all safe and accounted for. Don't you worry about us, Agnes. Communications are up and running again. We're getting all the students in touch with their families. It just kinda doesn't feel all that safe with the cruiser hanging around in the air like that. But I digress. You guys shouldn't have anything to worry about now. Thank you. Stay safe yourself, okay? If things hit the fan, guys like you gotta step up and get everybody to safety. You got me? Well, yeah. You don't have to tell me twice. I finally got in touch with my family. I can finally catch my breath. Mom and Dad were both worried, and I can't blame them, of course. First we get caught up in a terrorist attack on a field trip, and now we got special forces taking us in. Just my luck, huh? Feels like I walked onto the set of an action movie by mistake. I got caught up in it right in the middle of a work meeting at Vern. Never thought that would happen to me. They put the meeting on hold for now. So Almato was behind it? I remember they had that attack in Longport recently. Then Anchorville, and now here too? I just don't get it. What's the point? Why are they wreaking all this havoc? We helped out with the evacuation yesterday, and that sort of led us here to the hotel. It's tough. Holding up in cramped little rooms isn't good for anybody's mental health right now. Don't push yourselves too much, okay? You especially, Agnes. If things get to be too much, we're always here to help. Thank you, Odette. We all need to do our part. Yep, you can count on me. Never thought terrorists would strike here. Communications are back up, at least. We've been swamped with new reservations. There are tons of people stuck here because they can't go home. I really hope we can just get back to normal soon. I'm getting tired of all this. The part that doesn't really make sense is the people would be a little more acclimated to this, seeing as they were just at war with Erebonia a little while ago. Like, the whole war mentality, the rationing, everything should not have shaken off just yet. Even our station got shot up. We got a lot of casualties over here. I dread to imagine a second attack. Guess we can't complain about that PMC stepping in to restore order with our guys all banged up. They really rubbed me the wrong way, though. They got all that strength with no state backing. Freaks me out. Like, basically, the restrictions have been up long enough so that the fatigue has dissipated, but the mentality should still be there, is what I'm saying. We had some damage to our company vehicles in the attack, but outside of that, we got off really light. I heard a lot of other companies weren't so lucky. The Institute got hit hard, too. We're still pretty much at capacity, so it's our duty to step up and help the others get on their feet. And I want to make sure Cindy can feel safe out on the streets again. At the moment, we're assessing damages to Verne Company and affiliates. Some of our business partners' manufacturing plants were hit particularly hard. We don't know when they'll be fully operational again. But all things considered, this terrorist attack could have been a lot worse. Our total losses don't amount to much. What, then, was the Mafia trying to accomplish? Goodness, I never thought I'd witness something so horrible. Our factory faced significant damages. It'll be a while until we're fully operational again. I had no idea. It's good that our projects weren't compromised, but our manufacturing side will really be taking the heat now. The due date for that government armament contract really worries me. Can we make it after this? How's our headcount looking? Do we have any spare hands to direct to that? Can you put together a budget plan if you can get us enough to cover repair costs? Certainly, I can get that for you. It's nice to see eye to eye. Indeed, I couldn't possibly hope for more. Let's work through this together. Leave the recovery efforts to me. Good. I'll help wherever I can myself. Basel is in disarray. We all need to work together to surmount it. No one else in here? Man, I can't blame them for locking down the city after the attack, but it still really sucks. We really cleaned up our act over the last 2 years and made the city a safer place. That's how we were able to attract so much investment. But for now, safe city anymore. Maybe the bank's going to rethink their business strategy here. Might be time to assetize some of our investments and switch to a more conservative portfolio. Oh, right. This is the one you can go into. Just curious if they'd have any of these damaged. Yesterday was just wild. We were coming home from the Ingrid factory, and wham, that's when the attack broke out. We made a beeline for the car and booked it out of there like an action movie, I swear. But now we're stuck here. They've closed down the road back to the capital, so now what? And they're saying the Ingrid factory was damaged too. You know, maybe we can pitch in and help out over there. Not a bad idea. That's our chance to pay it forward to our favorite brand. My car was made in Basel, so it's really disheartening to see what's going on here. But well, if we're stuck here because of the road closures, then we might as well make ourselves useful while we're here. This isn't really happening, is it? No, snap out of it. I have to do something. My cobble got cut up from all the shrapnel. It's up to me now. No excuses. We're still open here, thankfully. The damage wasn't bad enough to make us close. But business is awfully slow today, and I can't blame people. Everybody's out there trying to pick up the pieces, literally. That said, if you need anything, we're open and ready. In light of all the incidents lately, local authorities have suspended rail service. We don't know when we'll be back up and running. I apologize for the inconvenience. I heard there was a terrorist attack in Anchorville, too. I can't really blame them. Feels like a lockdown is the only answer. Seriously? They wrecked the Lino factory's whole assembly line? They did. There's no timetable for when we'll have everything back up and running. We can't order anything right now anyway because our suppliers got hit too. It's looking like we'll be out of commission for a while. You know, I recall you guys are still using last-gen manufacturing tools over there, right? Our Factory 3 might have some of those old tools lying around. We retrofitted the place with newer parts. Vice Manager and I go way back, so I might be able to call in a favor and get that stuff transferred to Lino. It was built to Vern's specifications if I recall, but it should work on a Lino assembly line with some tweaking. You'd really do that for us? Of course, we're friends first and business rivals second. At the end of the day, we have the same passion for automotive engineering. I'll shoot him a message. Can you get me a list of your damaged equipment at some point? Sucker. Man, I knew Chamberlain had connections, but I never thought he'd go that far out of his way for us. Well, I better hold up my end of the plan. I'll get in touch with Factory 2. It's times like these when we gotta put our differences aside and work as a team. She's weak. Finish her. Ingrid's factory got hit too, but they produce military vehicles over there, so the cars themselves are mostly fine. We have a good deal of spare parts in stock here, so we're going to try and help supply the other companies with whatever they need. That's what the Vice Manager said, and I'm happy to stick to that.
No rest for the weary.
It's been really hairy. There were a lot of people injured in the attack, but because of the traffic restrictions, we're low on medicine. But we're working with local pharmacies and medical companies to try and bridge the gap. We're managing now, at least. Having all that research and production right here in the city is a real big strength, I've learned. It'll be a load off my back once those places are back to normal. We can use all the help we can get.
Hello.
I'm not gonna lie, it's just weird to me that they have all those cleaning supplies behind the counter.
Thanks for shopping.
Is that supposed to be like San Francisco or something? Because usually in pharmacies it's like the real dangerous drugs they have locked up like that. Just saying. It's awful, just awful. I can't sit idly by. I want to help however I can. I'm handling odd jobs while Luce runs the store. She has her hands full as is. We're like one big family here, you know, and family doesn't leave family behind. We all gotta pitch in and help each other out. We'll start over here.
This is the Aerotram.
The Aerotrams were hit in the attack too. It was a real headache trying to survey the damage and loop back with safety officials. We've just now gotten them back online. The Aerotrams are the backbone of the city's transport network. We need to keep them online no matter what. I hate staying by that thing because that voice keeps talking. Thank you so much, young man. Is your uniform from that big school in the capital? My, you're just an upstanding young man. No, that ain't nothing. I just happened to be here. You're embarrassing me, geezer. Thank you ever so much. I just had to go out and get my groceries in spite of everything going on. Just watch your stinking feet, okay? There's still rubble everywhere. Oh dear, you're right. I could use a hand. Can you help me, young man? Hell no, I'm not sticking around. I just tagged along with Julian, trying to help, but what are those things? Solid metal? They're so damn heavy. And there he is, just picking up and hauling them over and over again like they're nothing. Just thinking about how Julian got so popular, and I think that there's my answer. He just ain't a pretty face, jeez. Alright, I think that's all the broken glass swapped out. The storefront should be fine now. Just trying to do what I can. Where I was raised, you were expected to pitch in to help the community in crises like these. Okay, what else needs to be done? Sounds like Lyle's tuckered himself out. I'll go cover for him. This being Lyle. Thank the goddess, my husband and I made it out alright. We were both working at the time, but our workshops weren't damaged much. I was surprised to see those field trip students jumping in to help evacuate people. They really went out on a limb there, didn't they? They're still kids. I've been putting in orders for replacement materials. Hopefully we can get back in business soon. Being under direct management should help us a lot. We can just hit up HQ for whatever parts we need. And on a personal level, I want to be a mediator so others can get in touch with HQ for help. It's the least I can do to give back to the city.
Hello there.
I wanted to see if Hit 3 was available. When I was trying to look online, they said that all the Tier 3s should have been available by now, but you can see Cast, EP Cut, and Hit are not. Only the lower elements, so to speak. And there's just not, like... you don't have a lot of the ridiculous quartz that was developed during Cold Steel, or even, to a certain degree, Azure.
See you again.
Yeah, I can't actually do
Hello
anything
there.
on that front. Got the Vern cap.
See you again.
Truth be told, it's the same way for the accessories. So, you need the blueprints for the core actuator. Yes, they should be at Foundation HQ. We co-developed that with Vern, you see. For real? When we get that, and the repairs will be a cinch. You wouldn't happen to also have a grid map for Factory 3, would you? I reached out to Vern about that, but they're giving me the runaround. Yes, actually, I remember some 10 years ago. At any rate, I'll get that to you as soon as I can. We were expecting to take some losses with arms sales slowing down, but it still stings. Incidentally, about those two projects, the equipment for Marduk's security detail and the engineering behind that new airship. Can't help but wonder how they were constructed. They look reliable for sure, but foreign all the same. Foreign as in I have never seen anything like it from Calvert's domestic production. As an engineer, that really gets me thinking.
Do you know what you want?
So yeah, I was thinking I probably didn't buy a weapon for Fairy. And there's no point in buying armor or anything here. Again. It's going to be obsolete in probably an hour or two. And we will hit up the billboard because I suspect I'll be doing this quest in this video. I failed to mention this earlier, but I have a proposition for all of you. It's something of an extension of Crown Prince Shareed's request. If you have the time, would you consider taking on the job? I'll be waiting for you in the park in Newtown. Oh, a request from the CID, eh? It's intriguing for sure. Wonder what they want to talk to us about. Not gonna say no to a potential rendezvous with Kayla. How about you?
Off we go.
Oops, wrong button. Okay, we're gonna end up triggering all these. They're just in inconvenient spots. Just did a delivery run to get some repair materials where they were needed in the city. I'm really glad my truck didn't get dinged up. I can use it to help everybody out here. Whatever folks need, I can load it up and haul it over. You couldn't have timed your arrival better. Ren, we weren't expecting to find you here. You want something from us? The opposite, I have something for you, a little piece of intel. Do you have to go blabbing to them about it? Hey, don't spoil her fun, Killjoy. Ladies don't like a hard ass. Excuse me? Alright, boys, simmer down. Now's not the time for mouthing off. So what's this info about? To the surprise of no one, Almada was behind the explosion in Anchorville. Sounds like it's a mess out there right now after word got out that Almada had corporate help. Yeah, a lot of high-ranking bracers are stuck there right now trying to sort everything out. Honestly, I'd really rather be out there right now, but we're tied up here. After yesterday, we're not leaving anytime soon. Indeed, I'm still positive that the attack in Anchorville is just a diversion. Basel has to be their main target. In fact, we know a little more about the agents who unleashed the archaisms in the city yesterday. Strongly believe it was the same duo you met in Longport. Them again? Viola and Alexander. They've caused a ton of trouble back in Longport, too. That's certainly not good. That said, we shouldn't have to worry about them here now that Marduk is in town. How many men have they got? Are we talking just one area or the whole city? They have enough people on the ground to rival a large Jaeger Corps, and with vastly better equipment. Their chief of security in particular, he's a real force of nature. Of course, I imagine you all know that pretty well already. Kasim? Yep, Gramps here described him as one of the strongest Jaegers to walk the earth. It's funny, guy's got this baby face, doesn't even look 30, but he gives off this vibe like he could kick your ass into next week. At any rate, the city's in good hands with him patrolling around. Still gotta figure out what Almada's plotting next, though. Speaking of, you confirmed those two you encountered yesterday were connected to the Gardens, correct? Yeah, said they were overseers. That checks out. They've got 4 units and an overseer in charge of each one. The two of them seem to be connected to Almada differently, though. Melchior is both an overseer and a high-ranking executive in Almada, but his cohort said that she was only a contractor. Talk about complicated, wonder what the story there is. We're not much the wiser than you guys there, unfortunately. What we do know is that the most monstrous mafia and most vile assassins ever live have joined hands, and that ain't good. Indeed. After we have Basel taken care of, we'll need to devise a strategy for dealing with them. Have you managed to learn anything more about what Almada's up to here? Unfortunately not. If anything, we were hoping you might have a lead on where Professor Callahan might be. Wish I did, but I'm not too familiar with the geography of this area. I tried to see if I could find anything on the net, but they cover their tracks, unfortunately. Sorry for coming up empty-handed. Don't worry about it, it really wasn't going to be that easy. Aside from that, my only other advice is to keep the septium veins in mind. They're more relevant than you might think. The septium veins? I recall Rosette mentioning those recently. They do have a tendency to affect the orbital network in particular. At first glance, they appear unrelated. We had no way to prove that they were at all related. Until a certain phenomena in Crossbell demonstrate that the two can affect each other under the right conditions. This incident is eerily reminiscent of what happened a year and a half ago. It's just my hunch, though. Well, that does make a lot of sense. Yeah, thanks for the pointer. Well, we're gonna get back to tracking down Callahan. What are you three up to? We'll be doing the rounds to keep the city under control. We can't just leave it all to Marduk. Yeah, they're good, don't get me wrong, but they're even shadier than you guys are. I don't trust them. I'll be helping out too until there's some other development that demands my attention. I need to keep an eye on all the other students as well. We're all waiting here for you, Anya, so Dent and Albert too. Don't forget that, okay? I won't. Please be careful, Ren. We're gonna head out pretty shortly ourselves. Alex should be able to hold down the fort, especially with Ren helping out. If Almano does want Basel, there's no way this was their only planned attack. They're gonna be back for more someday. That's all the more reason why we've got to stop them in their tracks. Jin had told me that Ren was capable, and goodness, he wasn't kidding. Capable is almost underselling her. She had her issues diagnosed in a flash, and she even pointed out the potential link between the network and the septium veins, too. She's wise beyond her years for certain. It's a shame that experience had to come from the sort of trouble she referenced. Well, she's an excellent mind. We can't push all the work onto her. She is still a child, after all. We adults need to pull our own weight. I'll keep looking on my end, of course. A certain factory is counting on me among other people and groups. I can't exactly turn a blind eye to all of this. I've left Sasha in charge of the other students. I'm sure she'll be able to handle things for the rest of the day. I'd like to have another chat with Professor Cronkite, too, if I get the chance. I hope my hunch is off, but if it isn't, I'll have lots of things to look into. I might have broken a bone or two, but I'll be okay. This shouldn't slow me down all that much. Just can't believe what they did to Professor Callahan. They really are dangerous. I agree, but please don't push yourself. Just leave this to us, alright? We'll all sort this out, promise. I'm sure you will. Can't have Marduk showing us up more than they already have.
Alrighty.
This is going to be really sketchy with Blanc out of commission, but we can't let that get to us. We've got to cover for her. We're counting on you too. Let us know if you learn anything out there. I'm ashamed that you had to see me like that yesterday. I have no excuses. They overpowered me, plain and simple. Don't beat yourself up over it. They got one of my guys, too. Happens to the best of us. Just getting out of there alive is reason enough to celebrate. I agree, and the fact that you were able to hold them off that long bought us valuable time. Guess you're right, yeah. Look on the bright side, huh? We'll need your help and a whole lot more for it to even stand a chance against Almada and the Gardens. We're counting on you. Don't let them get away with this. We won't. That goes without saying. You bet your ass will bring them to justice. Hey, thanks for the help yesterday. I never imagined something like that would happen on the job. God is almighty. And I was in such a good mood, too. I was getting along with the artisans, job was going smooth. Man, trouble really strikes when you least expect it, huh? I'm just happy I was able to help that lady. It helps me sleep at night knowing I did what I could. I really am glad the workshop's okay, but I'm happier to see you safe. We can replace parts, but I can't replace my dad. You two. We got each other, and that's what's important. Didn't expect you to care that much about the shop, though. Honestly, thought you were going to come by and say, now's the perfect chance to revamp the shop floor. Seriously, would I do that? I don't hate you like that. Come on, you're my dad. Yeah, sorry, that was a bit mean of me. I know you're not like that. I'm really happy that you're alright, especially since I hear the Institute got all torn up. Admittedly, I didn't think you'd care much for the Institute yourself. Of course I do, bud. You got every right to choose your path in life. Doesn't matter if I agree with it or not. If you're going to be out of class for a while, though, it might be worth it to stop by and shadow us at the shop for a bit. Gotta learn algebra before you can do calculus. Gotta learn the old stuff before you can do the new, right? I mean, I guess I could. Wait a minute, you're tricking me. Well, this is your chance to unveil all your new floor plans for the shop. Thought my dad was against my career path all this time, but evidently not. He sounds like he's accepted it. I swear, it's so hard to tell what's on his mind. Still, I guess it's better to have it all sorted out later than ever. Maybe some good can come out of this after all. Well, I'll be damned. Guess my son really did care about the workshop. Just never could figure out what he was thinking. He's got trouble opening up like that. Gets that from me. I never dreamed a disaster like this would befall our fair city. I need to make sure all the workshops are holding up. I work closely with them for my job. If they're out of commission, it could throw a wrench in our whole pipeline. But more than that, I want to make sure the people are okay. I'll have to make the most of my connections here. The whole city's fallen on hard times, so we gotta help however we can. I'm just a part-timer, but I feel like I really am making a difference. I like seeing people's faces light up when their food arrives. The food here is really good, so it should be a nice pick-me-up for the people out there who need it. Man alive, we had enough problems to deal with before the whole city came under attack. Heard that a lot of tourists are stranded here since they closed all the roads out. They can't get back home. We have to figure something out for them. They need a place to stay and food to eat. Actually, real quick.
Don't take too long to decide now. Come back soon.
Just want to make sure that I had everything. Oh, I missed the dude at the counter. I was sitting down for business talks with Vern when everything just fell to chaos. Couldn't believe my eyes. We were safe inside that building, thankfully, but everybody was shaken, and understandably so. I hear they attacked some other town too, and now the roads are closed in response. I'm stranded here. There's just nothing I can do, I guess. Well, might as well make the most of it, if I'm gonna be stuck here. Yep, she can reminisce about her time at the theater. My sister's really fired up. She's been coordinating food and shelter for those stranded tourists. I can't blame her. Normally I'd be worried about chewing through our budget and ingredients, but just desperate times and all. Our phones and stuff are back online at least, so I'm gonna need to send out some calls to get everything squared away. Everyone's just doing what they can right now, and so should I.
Do you know what you want?
Did I talk to him? Yeah, I did. Well, good to see Millie is okay. I wouldn't want my rival getting injured. There's no point in kicking someone while they're down, you know? Want to beat her at her best. Once the town's back to normal, you bet your butt I'm challenging her to another race. One-on-one this time. Oh, in we go. Give it another look. Comb it real thorough this time. Yes, Chief. Is something wrong? Anything we can help with? Wish it was that simple, but nope, ain't nothing you folks can help with. Guess it wouldn't hurt to fill you in, though. What? Parts for that weapon prototype went missing? Yep, we found it out when we were looking into Callahan's disappearance. Most of the parts are still here. It's not like the whole damn thing up and vanished. But there are little bits and pieces of our inventory missing. Our order sheets don't add up. And we haven't been able to find the missing parts anywhere. It's not just a few of them either. We're missing huge chunks of inventory. Too much stuff to count. Well, that's a bit alarming. You're talking about that weapon you showed us earlier, right? Yeah, that definitely ain't good, and you're right. I don't know how we could help with that. Smells like an inside job to me. No way the world-famous Giscard workshop loses track of inventories like that. Damn straight, a lot of us here know about the weapon, but it's still a highly confidential project. We've taken extra steps to make sure nothing gets out. And out of all times, this had to happen right after I went and mouthed off at Towsend. Shameful, I tell ya. You order parts online, don't you? I remember you showing me how that system worked. Do you think this inventory shortfall might be related to the network problems the city's been having? Our youngsters suggested the same thing. It's not entirely off the table, no. I'd just like to think we were being more careful than that. How could we not be, given everything going on? That's understandable, yeah. I find it hard to believe it was just an accident, with how careful everyone's been. This feels premeditated. Yeah, with all the weird shit going on, it's hard to chalk anything up to coincidence right now. There's just so much going on. We'll keep an eye out for any leads about your parts, though. Thanks. Man, I'm sorry, folks. You got enough on your plate without us and all our stupid supply hiccups. We're still trying to find Callahan. We haven't got any good leads yet. Our best guess today is somewhere off the beaten path. Might have holed himself up somewhere on purpose, even. Does sound like a good guess. Well, if you learn anything, let us know. If I had to take a guess, he's probably in the canyon in that research lab. Where we found his body, that is. As if we didn't have enough on our plate, now we've got this. We look real bad right now. How do we screw up the math on this? The numbers don't add up, so we must have made a mistake somewhere and compounded on it. We'll look into this, but we got our hands full with Callahan, too. You guys learn anything, let us know, alright? I feel awful. I'm the chief on site here, so this responsibility falls onto me. We'll investigate however we can. At any rate, it still feels ominous here. So I just want to make sure.
You don't need to be shy now.
Yeah, the thing was wrong. That sucks. Although, keep in mind I don't really have a lot of space here, so I still have to make the impedes and mines, and then those, so yeah. I'm gonna be very, very poor in the near future.
See you again.
In every regard, unfortunately. Dad says he's heading out to help with the repairs. Everyone here in the workshop is really busy now. There's gotta be something I can do to help. Maybe there's some computer work that needs doing. I'm good with those. Can't do back-end stuff. I might be able to help with, like, setup, diagnosing network problems. It's worth a shot. This is just a disaster. We can't let those weapon parts out into the field. It'd be difficult to actually reverse engineer them, but it's not completely off the table, and that really unnerves me. This project is supposed to be absolutely confidential, too. We just can't let this happen. Gotta get to the bottom of this, and fast. Anyone up here?
No need to be shy. See you again. No need to be shy now.
I don't think we need that. Cap's at 250, so we're okay for U materials. We're only about half. Oh well. Like, I'll probably need this next chapter if I can upgrade them into Cast 3s.
See you again.
Gonna burn through quite a few U materials, I'm afraid, so hopefully they get a little easier to come by.
Ridiculous.
I wouldn't have made it out of there if not for you. I can't thank you enough. I was really surprised to see how strong Cacho's gotten. He's really grown up, hasn't he? I'm sure Professor Hamilton will be happy to see that, if and when she returns. That if is really ominous. So we'll hit up the church in a moment. I was looking around the workshop for spare bolts for the generator and I stumbled upon this. Voyager, did you make this? Uh-huh, everyone's working their butts off, so it didn't feel fair for me to just sit around. So I had to go at making one of these while you were out. I didn't screw it up, did I? Well, actually, no, this is pretty well polished compared to your other stuff. I can tell you actually took your time on it. You really can do it if you try, huh? Guess the circumstances brought that out in you, huh? He complimented me? Yes, oh yeah. See, yeah, I can do it when I try. Maybe you could let me leave... If you could let those project managers know I can make 30 more of these by EOD, end of day. It's good practice, and hey, it'll really help us out if we can get some more of these. I knew it was too good to be true. The road to arsenship is long indeed. But now I've got a goal and I'm sticking to it. Nothing's going to stop me. I feel like it really helped that I was doing it on my own, though. I'm not sure I can make them as well if I've got him yelling in my ears. We're going to have our hands full for a while with cleanup and rebuilding. Voyager's really impressed me. He's always rushing into things, but he really had a good grasp on things this time. Maybe it's about time I gave him a little more freedom at the shop. I'll have to think about that once all this is over. Oh, you're the youngsters from yesterday, and I see Cacho's with you too. Can't thank you enough for helping me. I've gotten word of people using those kinds of machine monsters to attack people, but I never expected to run afoul of one here. I'm not going to sit around and mope. As long as I still got my arms and legs, I'm going to do what I can to help clean up. I may be retired, but I was a damn fine artisan in my heyday. I'll make useful somehow. Okay, the two shops there are the inn, and then that's Giscar's. Huh. I could just feel my mind going blank at first, but Professor Orley and Father Flickdom did help me calm down a bit. I think I'm feeling better now. I'm still awfully nervous, but I'm not panicking anymore. I think now I have to start figuring out where to go from here. I'm planning to call in a specialist to help, but for now I need to focus on calming her down first. Church has helped me through my problems an awful lot over the years. I know they can help her too. Just hope Cindy takes this opportunity to start on a healthier path. In case you're wondering, I thought I saw a typo there, but it wasn't. I just read it a little too fast. Professor Callahan's passing is most tragic indeed. May Adios guide his wayward soul. His actions in yesterday's events have left many uneasy and confused. The future is deeply uncertain. As a servant of the goddess, I have faith in her mercy and compassion. I must do what I can to ease the people's hearts.
Right.
Oh, there he is. Glad we didn't have to go on a wild goose chase to find you today. If it isn't the Spriggan, you look like you have something more to discuss with me. Damn right we do. I imagine you're already privy to the situation, so we don't need to bring you up to speed. Right now, we're trying to get everything under control ourselves before the government intervenes any further. So that's why we wanted to ask you about... Me? What exactly do I have to do with all this? I will admit my curiosity is piqued by the developments here. Marduk is an interesting wrinkle in the story, as are Professor Callahan's, shall we say, inadvisable efforts. I do plan to stay and watch how this all pans out, but as I said yesterday... Can you at least let me finish before dismissing me? I've had to face a lot of hard truths over the past few days. I've been made to realize just how lacking I am and how much I still have to learn. I know that's impossible to rectify all that overnight, but there are still things I want to protect no matter the cost. All I want is for your feedback on a hypothesis of mine. I won't ask for any more of your help than that. Go on. Professor Callahan all but lives on the network now. But that goal of his contradicts the actions he took. One thing doesn't add up to me. Why did he simply let the Mafia destroy the Aurora? That's a good question. I agree, that is an obvious contradiction. If they intend to use weapons of mass destruction, they must figure out how to invent and produce them. They simply don't exist yet. Professor Callahan's AI only solves one part of the problem. Even with functional blueprints, there are no means to produce them. The AI is essential in their research efforts. It holds more computational power than any other machine in Basel. And if they no longer have it, that begs another question. How will they produce these nuclear weapons without the means to invent them? An astute observation. Can't say no, can you? Something tells me you wanted to help him out all along in spite of your crotchety old man act. I've simply given him the feedback he requested. It'll be up to him to prove his theory, though judging from what I've heard so far, he'll find the answer soon enough. Yang? You are correct. People do not grow and change overnight, but having watched you, I can see how you've matured over the years. I look forward to seeing you grow into a well-rounded scientist, just as Professor Hamilton did. Thank you, I will. He really is like a brother to you, huh? He's more helpful than he wants to admit. Curious where he's going after he leaves Basel, but I guess that just ain't my business. I agree, and besides, it's not our place to tell him how to live his life. We need to focus on our own work right now. You're right. So I want to look at that log, because... So, is he saying that Professor Hamilton saw him grow into a well-rounded scientist, or does Cronkite... Is he older than he appears? We've got a lot of info to work with now. Yeah, but I can't wrap my head around how it all fits together. Maybe talking it out will help. Is there a place we can chat in private? We can always head back to the inn. Actually, how about you all come to my place? You won't have to worry about people listening in there. We couldn't impose on you like that. I really don't mind, and neither would Professor Hamilton. It's her house, but I'm the only one who lives there right now. Cool, we'll take you up on your offer. Kinda curious to see the home of one of Epstein's 3 disciples. I wouldn't expect too much, it's just a normal family home. Anyway, we can head over whenever you'd like.
On my way.
Why not stay here and relax?
Ah, so you checked the bulletin board, did you? Me riding a 4 SPG, never thought I'd see the day. Second Lieutenant Kayla. Wouldn't have killed you to be more direct instead of going the 4 SPG route. So am I speaking to Kayla or am I speaking to the CID? You're sharp, this may seem a bit bureaucratic, but I've submitted this request in the CID's stead. It concerns the armed machines that were released in the city during yesterday's attack. We've confirmed that around half their numbers were destroyed, while most of the others were treated with Almada. But we've also received word that 2 high-spec units might still be at large within the city. Seriously? We did encounter a few machines fitting that description yesterday. I see, yeah, the police probably have their hands full with them. You need a cleanup crew. But Marduk and the Guild don't really tickle your fancy, have I got that right? Exactly. Marduk's involvement was the result of the President's more heavy-handed approach. We're not too fond of that. This is more a matter of professional pride than anything. Special forces are due to arrive in the evening, and they're sure to complicate things. We'd much rather solve this problem ourselves. So you want to loan us out to the CID for a day, is that right? It's not just the CID, the Principality requested this too, I assume. And whatever the case, we really can't have those things running loose. Makes sense-ish. Out of curiosity, was this Renee, Kincaid's idea? He's pulled together his own task force to address the problem. They're negotiating with the President's office as we speak. At the risk of divulging too many details, he's been pushing for a separate division meant specifically for these tasks. Yeah, that tracks. Guy's resourceful to a fault. This really is a job for Marduk or the Guild, but I guess the CID doesn't want to swallow its pride. We ain't exactly free, though, is the thing. We got other jobs to do. I guess we can look into this on the side. Lay it on me. Van? We might find a lead or something. You have my gratitude. Here's what we know about these rogue models. They're most probably the same as the models employed by Vegas Films and Tharbad. Oh, those assholes. And 2 of them at that. You fought them before? They sound like a real hassle. Yep, because they are. But how are they hiding in the city to begin with? They're just too big. They got some kind of optical camo or something? Not to our knowledge. The IX Alba has been patrolling and scanning the city from above since yesterday. Marduk has cleared out the smaller units that we found, but the 2 large units have yet to be located. Kincaid does have a theory. He suspects that they're hiding in plain sight and using some sort of radar jamming device to avoid detection. I do remember hearing about special materials that can absorb or deflect orbital waves, which means we're probably looking for a container made of such material, likely brought into the cap of the city recently. Either that or a van big enough to hold them. Probably pretty simple to deck one of those out in anti-radar stuff. No idea whether Almana's driving it around themselves, though, or if they contracted that out to somebody. Think you can look into suspicious containers and transport vehicles for us? We'll focus on the stuff that's out on the road. We'll split up and we should have this cleared up pretty quickly. Understood. I'll mobilize the local authorities and notify Vern and the Arsons Guild. If either of us makes any headway, let's keep each other posted. Thank you very much. So, what's the move? We hunt down every wayward van in town? We'll be out here all day. True, traffic in and out is closed, but plenty of vehicles remain inside the city limits. The main arteries fan out in all sorts of directions. Searching them all would be time-consuming. We got the cops on site, so we can leave the crowd control to them. We just gotta pinpoint where the transport's most likely to be. Newtown and the Arsenal District make the most sense to me. They've got the most traffic, freight especially. We get lucky, or I guess unlucky in this case, we might just fish us up a robot. Roger, so we need to find people who drive stuff a lot. Let's start asking around.
Time to start working.
In all seriousness, I was expecting them to be hiding out in the mines.
Why not stay here and relax?
Let me ask you something.
A sketchy transport vehicle? Let me think about that for a sec. A lot of cars go by, so... Well, now that you mention it, there was something funny this morning. There was? What'd you see? Any details would be great, no matter how small. So you know we've got the whole lockdown thing, and it got me thinking how I want to do business today. And I figured, you know, people are still hungry, people need to pick me up, so I made my way out here, albeit a little later than usual. And this big old transfer van comes up, and something about it just seems weird. Weird. Were they driving all funny? The opposite, actually. There was this little empty soda can sitting in the road, and the transport just ran right over it, like made no attempt to avoid it. The whole van kind of shook a little. We got spooked and bolted out of the way, but the van just drove away like nothing happened. Nerves on that driver, honestly, stone cold. Sounds like there's more to this story. That's what I'm thinking, yeah, because then it turned right at the fork in the road ahead. And when it did, I heard a thud. I think whatever it was moving and got shuffled around. At first I thought maybe it was some machining tool thunking around there, but you'd think they'd stack them so that they don't do that. But like before, it just drove off right without a care in the world. Almost felt like I was just imagining things. I see. Did you catch what make the vehicle was? Yeah, it was a Red Star, big one, probably some delivery company. But it didn't have a logo or branding or anything on it. The van was just unmarked. Kinda weird. Yeah, it's a bit whack. Thanks a bunch, bud. It's some really good info. Glad to hear it. Anything to help. Goddess knows we all need it right now. But I heard things are looking up. They said they're going to open roads back up tonight. Just gotta hold out a little longer. We'll find a way. Thank you very much.
Why not stay here?
Off we go.
Now I figure it's the dude on the left. Yep.
Now then. Let me ask you something.
You want to know if I've seen a suspicious freight truck? Bit of an odd thing to ask. Well, yes it is. Sorry for just dumping that on. Nah, I'm just giving you a guff. I actually did see something like that last night. You did? So, what was suspicious about it? Well, deliveries last night were all way behind schedule because of the craziness in the city. We eventually got everything sorted out, even with the big ol' eye in the sky watching us all. So I finally wrap up my work. It's late at night, I'm tired as hell. I start driving back toward my home on the edge of town. I am waiting at one of the lights, and then I see this giant red star truck pull up next to me. It had a really weird color scheme to it. Never seen a red star painted like that. Had to be from out of town, I figured. But I figured, hey, he's a tired old dog like me, driving at ass o'clock. I'll give him a wave. I look out my window and, forget it. When I say it out loud, it sounds ridiculous. Must have just been seeing things. Come on, don't leave us hanging. You might not have been seeing things after all. Won't you tell us, please? Alright, just don't laugh at me, okay? I looked out the window and there was no one behind the wheel. Just nothing. Huh? What do you mean? Just nobody in the driver's seat at all? I'm as puzzled as you are. Before I could really process it, the light turned green, the truck rolled on away. I had to put my eyes back on the road after that. Never saw that truck again. Only really dawned on me when I got home. Maybe the driver was just on the short side. Their truck was definitely taller than mine, too. Maybe I just couldn't see him. Either that, or again, I was tired as all get out. Might have just been seeing things. So yeah, that's how it seemed to me at the time, but honestly, it was probably nothing. Moral of the story here is that everybody needs their sleep. You can't go burning the midnight oil just because you can, you know? Lesson learned, yeah. We'll take care of ourselves. Take it easy yourself, yeah? Sounds like the kind of thing a single good night's sleep won't fix. For sure. See you sealed off until tonight, so I'm gonna try and take it slow while we've got nothing to do. Nice, we got way more clues here than I expected. The two accounts we heard both involved a Red Star transport, which leads me to believe we are dealing with one and only one vehicle. I'm still freaking out about the whole driverless truck thing. Don't blame me, the fact that it happened at night turns this whole thing into a bona fide ghost story. There's probably a logical explanation, though, and I'm sure Catcher can provide it. For real? Is it related to technology you have insider knowledge about? Correct, I believe it is utilizing tech that is currently in the R&D phase of development in many countries. It's called an automated vehicle and allows a person to go from place to place without lifting a finger, because a hollow core is doing the driving. The fact that it kept going in spite of the empty soda can makes me strongly suspect it's an AI-controlled vehicle. In all seriousness, I don't know the significance of the empty soda can, because maybe that's a thing in Europe or Japan, but in the US, they don't stop for anything. My suspicions were correct then. Ren told me a little about this before. That's so cool, so it means it wasn't a ghost. Well, you never know, maybe there was a driver until his shitty job worked him to death. And now he lives on as a vengeful ghost behind the wheel. Wait, what's that? Oh shit, it's right behind you! Hey, there's nothing there. You should have seen the look on your face. Why are you like this? You want me to stop calling you a kid? Stop acting like one. Back on topic, there was an incident regarding unmanned driving tech. Everyone in the underworld was going on and on about it at the time, so I'm amazed this thing is driving around the city without causing any problems. Kinda insane. Not too surprised, you can prevent most accidents by connecting it to the traffic management system and the info on the city roads. Technology should be state-of-the-art. In fact, I suspect it's the same tech that caused Professor Callahan's downfall. Oh. I'm sorry, Katra. You've nothing to be sorry for, and I'm alright, promise. Now's not the time to wallow in sentimentality. So what's the plan, Van? The AI's functionality and patterns can make it quite difficult to capture. I know, normally I'd be fine with dumping this on the second lieutenant or the cops. But I'm a car lover at heart, and I do not like seeing them used as vehicles for bringing weapons into the city. This shit is personal. Figures. Well, any bright ideas, Chief? First order of business, seeing how far this AI can really go. Also, I'm going to bring on some outside help for this gig. What kind of outside help? Wait, you don't mean them, do you? Bingo, and they're right here in Basel, so I'm going to call them up right now. Van uses Zypher to get in touch with Juniper and the others. The party then headed to the motor pavilion in Newtown where they were waiting.
Then let's head over.
Actually, the drugstore would have been right next to it, now that I think about it.
Why not stay here and relax?
Dang it.
What's going on?
Oh, there we go. Van, so did we get all that right? You want us kings of the road to chase down an AI intruder, huh? Don't underestimate him. You really don't know what you're getting into. Neither do I, to be honest. It does sound hard to believe, yeah. Couldn't really go too in depth on the call, sorry. That's freaky. A giant van just driving around all by itself? And it's carrying assault robots inside it too. It's pretty far-fetched, but honestly, I'm intrigued. We street racers take pride in our skills, and I'm not about to let some beat-boob bastard one-up me. Well, being an AI, I can process things much faster than you. Without a plan to catch it, would probably outmaneuver you. No sweat, we'll show that bucket of bolts what real people can do. So what's the plan, Van? Here's what I'm thinking. We get my truck and your 2 cars. Van outlined his 3-prong attack to the group using a map of Basel's roads for reference, making sure not to overlook the robots themselves who make combat preparations as well. We're all set here. We've got our cars ready to go. Want to get the show on the road? Pit stop. Gotcha. These things sound dangerous, so gotta make sure we're ready. Don't worry. We'll have them cornered faster than a collie. Okay, just wanted to make sure Farida was not in the group. What does hurt a little bit, if you notice, is Agnes only has 24 CP, but we'll make do. Let's hit the road. You got a bead on the transport catcher? Yes, I pinged them on the traffic network. They're patrolling the streets in a specific pattern. They're due to come by here in around 20 minutes. So here's where we go all fast and the furious on them. Whoa, there really is nobody behind the wheel. Tinted glass too, they got the shit figured out. Transport's probably optimized its driving style to evade pursuers. Are you sure you can handle it? Safety first, remember, don't overextend. Best of luck. So did you notice the plot hole there? Tinted windows, but the one driver was able to see that there was no driver. Did they tint those overnight, or what happened? Damn, wish she could take me for a ride like that. She really is her uncle's niece. They're keeping clear of the other cars, so far so good. How's the traffic looking? No congestion as far as I can tell. If we can get it cornered. Now, what's ironic is a spike strip should have been able to do all this without all the drama, but sure. We got it. Perfect. Get the CID, the Basel police, and the traffic guys. Right. This is Catcher. I invoke emergency authority to request a temporary road closure. Looks like it gave up. If machines can even do that, I don't know. Perhaps it simply wasn't programmed to handle these sorts of situations. Nah, it ain't that easy. The machines are booting up. Juniper, Graham, get back. Right. So it was carrying those things. So these are warrior models? I see what you mean. They're from Marduk, no doubt. Yeah, these are the ones from Vegas Films, alright. 2 at once is going to be tough. Be careful, guys. On the flip side, we know how they work. Let's send them to the scrapyard where they belong. Their joints are their weak points, according to Reset. Focus on those. Let's clean them up before word gets out on the street.
I'll take you on.
Magical damage.
Let's party! Going all in.
Transmitting code.
Activate! A chance! Stay fast! Take this!
I won't lose.
Since they don't have weaknesses, let's just go with this. Ah, that does reach.
It's working.
Activating skill.
What's a little annoying is since they're split up, I can't get a combo up.
You got this, Anya!
I won't lose.
Not to mention that the 9-turn buff, that's still insane. I put aerial dust on her for combo purposes.
This'll hurt.
Let's party!
Yeah, I'm good to do this.
I'll dice you up! Go, Catra!
Initializing drive.
Oh, yes! Here goes.
That sucks.
There! I think I've grown a little.
Strike one? Seriously? The hell am I gonna do with that? We got him! Woohoo! Man, that was like a movie shot. That all you got? That felt so much easier than the one we took down in Tharbad. Rosette's info really came in handy there. How often do you go around fighting things like that? At least every Tuesday. I mean, ain't like we want to, just sorta happens on Tuesdays. Now, let's figure out how to shut off that auto drive thingy. Right, I'll get to work on... Huh? Are you shit me? Get back. Huh? Look out! Get away from that thing! A third one, seriously? Bastard, wait for us to let our guard down. I'll hold it off. You guys get back up. Guild, Marduk, whoever, I don't care. Van, don't. What are you? What the? What's that inside her purse? Don't be a hero, dipshit. This is serious. No need. Backup has arrived. Kayla. And...
You let your guard down.
Shit, close your eyes.
Perish.
Dude, you shouldn't be firing that in a city. An optical weapon? That's his Buster Lance. He showed me it back home once. Incredible, I see now how you earned your title, Kamshin. Huh? His name is supposed to be Kasim. You had to measure the situation from the very start, didn't you?
This was nothing more than our response as a part of crisis management. Our firm's concierge has previously analyzed the situation. I will leave the rest to the CID and the local police, as well as them. Farewell.
Yeah, his name is Kasim Al-Fayed, so where's Kamshin come from? Kasim? That attack was incredible. He took out the robot in one fell swoop. Went right for the joints, too, just like she said. Looked like he barely lifted a finger. Well, this is Marduk's ace we're talking about. That's just what he does. But hey, all's well that ends well, right? We still got the credit for it. That, in and of itself, is aggravating, but I'm in no position to complain. Anyway, thank you for completing my request. Given you did hunt down 3 units instead of 2, your reward will be adjusted accordingly, much thanks to you two as well. We didn't do much. Yeah, they just sat there and watched. I'm just glad I got to have a good race. Talk about stealing the spotlight. What are we, chopped liver? Yeah, I've still got a long way to go before I can rival my brother. I'm just glad we put a stop to those robots for good, even if it wasn't all us. Yeah, you have my thanks as well. Who knows what damage they would have caused if left unchecked. Don't sell yourself short, bud. You helped a bunch too. Plenty more where that came from. Let's keep Almada on their toes. Right, of course. With some fiddling, Catcher managed to decouple the auto-drive unit from the transport vehicle. After the local authorities conducted their own investigation, the traffic restrictions were lifted and all was back to normal.
That takes care of that.
Reward deposited.
Okay, I'm getting a little nervous here. So I need to get all those up to rank 3, I believe, for the next chapter. Well, because I think we make our route choice soon. You have to be level 3. Oh well. So yeah, I have some tweaking to do off camera, and well, when we pick up next time, we'll be pushing forward with the story. Probably not. Yeah, we probably will try to knock out the chapter in the next part. Oh, wait a second. We've heard everything from the second lieutenant. Thank you for your cooperation, everyone. Can't believe an AI was driving the transport, but at any rate, I'm glad we got things taken care of in spite of all the chaos and confusion. After yesterday and then this, I see now why the analyst speaks so highly of you. So we'll back you up all the way, that's a promise. Let's see how much we can corner the enemy before the task force arrives. I was awfully rattled there, but I'm glad we managed to help. But I still feel really on edge. The city's on lockdown, cops are crawling over the streets, it just doesn't feel safe anymore. Just promise you guys won't do anything crazy like before, got it? Goddess forbid you get caught up in another attack. I actually got some money from that Kayla lady after what happened. Seriously, Aaron? Told her I didn't need it, but she insisted. She wanted to thank me for the help. So what do I spend it on? Maybe I'll get me some souvenirs. Jeez. Freaking kids, man. So yeah, when we pick up next time, we'll be pushing forward in the story, trying to wrap up the chapter in one go. I'll see you there. I'm the Hero of Light. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.